Alright. Let's go ahead and mute the Twitch page, send out the Twitter, get everything joined up, and end with stream announcement. Alright. So, hello everyone, this is Chris Ingerson, and it is, I was going to say January for some reason, but it's not even close to January anymore. February 17th, and this is the February 17th TextQuest Devstream. So, it's Saturday. We're going to be getting back into custom adventure stuff. We're going to be taking a step back from custom scripting for now, custom game logic, because I have no idea how to approach that. Last week's Devstream was a good start, but it kind of just showed me that I kind of just jumped off of a cliff without any real plan there. And I need to do a lot more research into how to properly structure a visual programming language like that. Or at the very least, how to structure something that has node-based logic, even if it's just preset stuff. So we're not going to work on that today, but we are going to be working on custom adventure stuff still. Specifically, we're going to be working on custom game end screens. So currently, when you play, I don't have maximize on play on. Sadness. Well, currently when you play a custom adventure game and the game concludes, so whenever you either reach the end or you quit out, it just dumps you out into the main area. So we'll go ahead and skip through everything. Let's go to extras, author mode. I'm going to create. Let's work. All right. So if I test the game, we have a starting message. You can see this is messages that are shown. This is a message that is shown at the start of your game. I can't talk apparently. Then we get our initial room name plus our initial room description and item placements. So if we quit, we'll be greeted with a quit message, then a Y or an N. If we type N, then obviously we come back. If we quit again, then we type yes, we just get dumped right back out. Doesn't tell you anything about your status, about how far you've gotten. Doesn't tell you anything, really. So it would be nice if instead of that, you got a quit, and then when you type yes, you would get something kind of analogous to the no, where you get a message here, and basically all it would be is you would get a message, potentially a custom one by the creator, plus whatever the creator wanted to show you. So that could be something like score or turns taken or words typed, what have you. And then after that, if you type anything, this would change to say type anything to quit. And then if you just do whatever, it would actually finish quitting out, and then that would behave similar to that. That would actually just dump you out. But having that buffer area is, I think, necessary, or at the very least, having the option for that buffer area, because it's entirely possible we might actually make it so that if you want, you can set it so that when someone types quit and types yes, there's nothing, it just dumps you out. But having that sort of area where we can output a end game message lets us more easily transition from playing a custom game to going back to selecting from your group of custom games that you have or working on your own custom game. It just makes it so it's not quite as jarring. So we're gonna be focusing on that tonight or today. I'm used to saying tonight. Hello, Jelmega. Welcome back. How you doing today? All right. So let's go ahead and stop. Some things around so I can put everything back where I'm used to them. All the optimizations that I was working on. Close all these because we don't really need them. Okay. We're probably going to want to have, let's see here, CG underscore, and then what would I want to? Do I have an end game? There we go. We have in-game output and in-game menu. Let's go ahead and open this up. And that's not going to be the only thing, really. I guess actually what we would want is, let's look for custom adventure. Oh, wait, what am I doing? Custom game author session and custom game session. I'm good. Got an input system for my engine now. Nice, nice. So by input, do you mean user input or input as in receiving input from external, I guess, generic sources? Um, let's see here. So we're going to want. Yeah, oh, you know what? Probably we're also going to want is custom game parser commands. I think we're going to need that. Let's see. Quit. Attempt quit custom game. If we go to this definition, that should point us where we want. Cache input view.add text, custom constants, blah, blah, blah. All right, in custom game, currently, well, we do want this. Custom constants, get constant, dot value, that's all good. Keyboard and mouse input, okay. Is that flexible enough for technically any input, or is it specifically locked down to keyboard and mouse? All right, let's see here. We're going to need also custom input, I believe. Input view. Let's see here. And we are also going to want... actually, we might not need that one specifically, but we will need this. Quit and in custom game, where do you get called? That's the move in direction. Ah, here we are. Okay. So for this, well, so I think I need to change end custom game to be something else. We probably want this to actually be instead of closing the game and opening whatever, or calling our in-game callback, which will either open, the map view or the custom game view, what have you. We probably want in custom game to actually be the thing that outputs the message saying, type anything to start or type anything to leave and blah, blah, blah. We need to move this chunk of code to probably something called cleanup custom game. Public virtual void cleanup custom game. Go ahead, grab this, paste that over there. All right. So from this, we're going to say current state is equal to custom game state dot. Quit, I think. Do we really use this anywhere else? Well, yeah, I do set it here, which means that I was on the right track there. So we can actually get rid of you there. And then we are going to say, let's see, cached input view dot add text custom constants dot get constant cg underscore oops, not xg, cg underscore string constant id dot end text dot value. Okay, so that will output our initial end text that we want, but then we're also going to need to detect how we want, or what else we want to be displayed, basically. Current keyboard and mouse, but that wouldn't be difficult to add other inputs. Okay. I have two ways of using the input, either using functions like is key down or using callbacks when keys are pressed. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense for an input system. Let's go ahead and get up here. Alright, next we are going to need... oh crap, I lost it. No, where was it? Check quit input. No. There was a state that I scrolled past and I lost it. Ah, here we are. Receive input. If is quitting. Okay, so in the case of quit, for our case, and we're going to say just clean up custom game. That's all we need to do there. So I think we can actually test this as is, and we should get a decent output. It should at least output a single line of text for our let me talk. It should output a single line of text that is our in-game message. It won't put anything else out, like score or turns taken, because we haven't taken that into account yet. But we will at least be able to test this to make sure that it functions. So let's also go ahead and say, oh crap, you know what I do need? Input view, go to definition. Actually, no, hold on. Type actions here. No, hold on. Do I have like a no, not previous inputs. What do I want to call it? Placeholder, right? Nope. Okay. Do I not have a reference to that? Go to definition. I thought I did. Huh. Oh, no, here we are. There we go, placeholder label. Is that really not useful anywhere else, though? Alright, actually I might need to go back to that. Go to definition, placeholder label, find all references. Input view, that's about what I thought. Open. Crap. What happens when I open this? I call base.open, which itself calls base.open. Oh, no, that makes sense. That does make sense. Okay. Oh, except that needs to change. Ah, dang it. Crap. Okay. So we probably actually want to expose the little preview text that's in the text entry field. We want to make that adjustable too, so that it doesn't just always say type actions here. It should probably be able to say whatever. So now I can try to make OpenGL work and write a generic wrapper for rendering. Nice. So you've just been working on like the actual behavior of your engine so far. You haven't worked on the UI side or the graphics side. Go ahead and say start. I'm going to go to extras, author mode, create, Zork. All right. So if we go to game settings and then in game. Oh, I'm sorry, not that. Constants. In text here, we should get this message. This message is shown at the end of your game when we quit over here now. So let's go ahead and quit. This is a message that is shown at the end of your game. Weird that we got a space there. That's kind of annoying, but okay. And then now if we type anything, nice. Test again. Quit. Yes. Okay, so we need to fix this weird issue. But then we can just hit. Oh, okay. We can't type nothing. Okay, cool. So for that, we are going to want. Let's see. Let's do a couple of things. I'm going to say stop playing. Come over here and. Geez, this is going to be fun. So, input view. Maybe I should have a function for this. I guess that makes sense. Let's see, add input, blah, 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 scroll through here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add a protected function. I'm going to say protected void set placeholder text. There we go. Yeah, we'll say set placeholder message. Okay, we got that. I'm going to scroll back up here to open. I'm going to grab this. Set placeholder message. We're going to go to this real quick. I'm going to paste this in here, make this protected virtual void. Okay. So that means that we can come up here now to custom game input and simply override that. So let's see right here. Say override set placeholder message. We'll get rid of this. And we're going to want to say placeholder label dot text is equal to crap. That's not going to do anything right now, so we're going to comment that out. And we are going to need to expose our placeholder message. So let's go over to, where are you? Where are you? Not there. Here we are. Custom contents. First up, we're going to need to go here. So end text, start text, quit confirm, item listing. Start text and text. I guess we'll go down here and we'll say we want input prompt is equal to 20. Then we'll also say quit. No, not quit. End. Oh, end game prompt. Prompt is equal to 21. Let's go ahead and comment this. So input menu. Okay. We're gonna go back to custom game session, custom contents. Let's peek at that real quick. Go to definition. Get constant. Okay, so all this stuff is working just fine. All right, let's go back over to here. So this is actually kind of annoying. Do I have this referenced or referenceable? Yes, it is. Good. So I can come back over to here, and I can say, do I have a cached reference to that? I do. Haha. So we're going to say placeholder text is equal to cached custom game session dot custom constants dot get constant ID dot input prompt, and then dot value. Okay, so that's that. And can I do that? Yeah, that would work. All right, let's go ahead and go back to custom game session. On in custom game, we're going to need to say cached input view dot placeholder label. Oh, right. Placeholder label dot text is equal to custom constants dot get constant cg underscore string constant ID dot in game prompt dot value. Oof, okay. And the default value for this, I believe, let me find all references. No, that's not quite what I was expecting. Let me find all references here. Get constant ID on field. I forget where I generated the default values for these things. I must do it in the inspector. Go ahead and clear that. Let's go for constants. Wow, that was terrible. Constants. Here we are. Ah, yeah, I do have my defaults. So we're going to have to add our default values to that, which will just be type, what was it, type actions here. Let's see, so we have our defaults. Let's go ahead and add one for input prompt. We'll say type actions here, dot. Go ahead and close that. And I'm also going to go ahead and say custom input view. Look at our placeholder. Oh, that was dumb. Why did I do that? Type actions here is what it is. Custom game default. Type actions here. And real quick. Placeholder text. Type actions here. Okay. Let's see here. Defaults. Cool. We're going to open this up and we'll say end game prompt. And this is going to be type anything to quit, I guess. We'll do that. And I think that's pretty much anything we need. It should automatically detect that these two don't exist and then add them. Let's see. What else are we going to need here? Oh, yeah. Let's try to figure out why our quit output has an extra space above it. That's kind of weird. Custom game session. We have add input. It's because I did add input, not add text. That's why. Okay. So that should fix that issue. So now when we play, we're going to go to our game settings. We'll take a look at our string constants, and we should have two more fields, one for input prompts and one for in-game prompt. And we should be able to edit those. And we should also be able to see those when we test our custom game. At least that's the theory. All right, let's see here. Okay, done compiling. Let's give it a shot. Got high hopes. High hopes. Okay, we're going to skip through here, type start. Alright, let's go over to game settings, constants. Crap, it didn't. It might be because, hold on, let me double check this. I don't think we need input view anymore. Custom game parse commands. Session. Peek this. Find all. Crap, actually, you know what? Find all references here. Here we are. Custom constants, not initialized constants. Go to definition. That's interesting. So it totally should have. Well. Isn't that interesting? Default constants, constants. Custom constants, not initialized constants. Yeah, that's pretty much what I would expect. So we clear our constants, then we add range from our new constants. That's about right. Tell me these did not get wiped. They didn't, but they didn't. They're not correct. Well, that's certainly kind of weird. Let's see here. Go back up to here. Here we are. This is why. Oh, and this is why too. Okay, so this is kind of one of those things that's not really. Well, no. If I ever make changes, I need to be able to detect that. So that's not good. That means I need to validate, basically. So I guess we'll go ahead and go to definition here. I'm going to add a function called validate constants. So we'll say public void validate constants, and then we'll have a list of default constants. And what we're going to do here is we're just going to basically loop through all of our existing constants, and if they have IDs that are not in the default constants, or if they are missing IDs that are in the default constants, then the constants will be removed or added as necessary, basically, until we can match the same amount of number of IDs. So, this is not exactly great. Geez. Let me think. What do we want to do here then? I think we're going to want to say list int indexes is equal to new list int. So we're basically going to loop through the list of contents and note any missing or extra IDs and their indexes, and then we'll remove those at the end. So we're just going to say for int I equals 0, I is less than constants dot, wow, I can't spell, constants dot count I plus plus. Okay, and then we're going to say for int j equals 0, j is less than default constants dot count j plus plus, and we're just going to say if constants of I dot ID is equal to default constants of j dot ID. But that doesn't actually quite work now, does it? Actually, would it be better if we... I don't know. We probably actually want to loop through the default constants first. And then... Well, no, I can do it this way too. So we'll say... Well, we need another list here. Say lin. And we'll say... Missing index. The new list. And, okay. And we'll rename this as extra indexes. Okay. So for this, we're going to want to say bool. Let me think. What can we do here? I guess that actually makes more sense to do it that way, doesn't it? I think we can reduce this ridiculous loop. I don't need to loop through everything. Let me restructure this. So instead of doing things like this, we're going to say, no, we'll keep the original for loop, and I guess the subsequent one, but we'll change the structure. So this is going to be default constants. That's going to be I. And then this is going to be our constants. We are going to have, instead of starting at 0 every time and looping through doing unnecessary comparisons, I think we'll just declare int j out here. I very rarely do this, but it should do the same thing. Wow, that was terrible. J is equal to 0. So we'll just say... get away from that. Oh, I guess that's right. I can't really do that, can I? I don't really want it to start at 0. So I guess I'll have to just say int j equals 0, except we're going to change that. This is going to be reference index. Terrible name. But we'll do that, because that will let us just reference the index once. Say reference index plus plus. The idea here is that I just don't want to have to recheck everything. But I guess that, well, no. Would I need that as a safety validation? I might be overcomplicating this. Looping through everything once isn't going to be that bad. So we'll keep this. I'm just going to make that 0 again. And we should still be fine here. But we do need to flip these back. So all that was sound and fury, and meaning nothing. So we're going to say bool, wrong thing, actually. Say bool found ID is equal to false. And then we'll say down here, if not found ID, then we'll say missing indexes dot add I. right? No, that's not right. So this is actually not found ID. This is going to be remove ID is equal to false, and if remove ID, then we will say extra indexes dot add I. And here we're going to say default constants. So we're going to say if constants of I dot ID is equal to default constants of J dot ID. And we're going to break out. We don't actually care about anything after that point. But if J is greater than or equal to default constants dot count minus 1, then that means that this ID is missing. So we need to say missing ID, missing indexes dot add J. Okay. So this loop here finds any missing indexes, and oh, we need to note actually. And here's where things get kind of funky. We need to keep track if this ID doesn't exist in the default constants. So this is... No, hold on. Crap. So, what happens if... Do I really need another for loop? No. I feel like I'm overcomplicating this. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble with this. Basically, I need to detect when the existing constants has an ID that the default constants doesn't have. And this is mostly as a safety precaution. I might just be complicating that to the point where I don't really need that. So I guess we would say... Let me think. So if it's missing, then it needs to be added. I'm not going to worry about removing it because I don't think that that's ever going to be really a thing. Let's go ahead and remove that then. Get rid of this. All right. Then after all of that, we'll just say if missing indexes dot count is greater than 0, then we're going to say, let's see. So the indexes that are added are the indexes for the IDs that we need. So we'll just simply say constants dot add default constants of, oh crap, that's terrible. That was just awful. So we're going to say for int I equals 0, I is less than missing indexes dot count, I plus plus. We're just going to take this, put this here. We're going to say constants dot add default constants, not of I, default constants of missing indexes of I. It's a little awkward, but that'll work. Okay. So that should make sure that we have the correct, or at the very least, all of our existing defaults. So that means we're going to come up here to this. Let's find all references here. Visualize. Go up to here. So we are going to do that, and then we'll also say custom constants dot validate constants, default constants dot constants. Okay, let's try that again. That should properly populate all of our existing custom constants, which basically just means getting these input and game prompts in there. And if it gets completely wiped, then something went wrong. So hopefully that won't happen. All right. While that's compiling, I'm going to get a drink. let's see what happens here. Go through here. Type start. Extras. Author mode. Create. Zork. All right. So let's go over to game settings. Constants. Okay, so it did not happen. Interesting. Which I guess means that missing indexes either did not exist, so we're going to debug this .log missing indexes.count. Let's go ahead and do that. Put that down here. Okay. And let's see. That should function pretty much. All right. So we'll debug that to see why it did not properly update. I mean, it shouldn't have. Oh, geez. You know what? Oh, no, that doesn't make sense. I'm a little worried that maybe that stuff is getting overridden as soon as it's parsed in. We'll find out here. We might also want to real quick. Let's see. Do that. Well, nope, that doesn't really matter. So, okay. Let's go ahead and play again. And Shazam! Aha! Magic words work. Type start. Let's go over to extras, author mode, create, Zork. Alright, game settings, constants. Oh, I guess it doesn't really matter. Oh, hold on. Nope. Still didn't happen. Yep, 0. There it is. So, let's go ahead and stop playing. Yeah, that's why. It's because I did this backwards. I have to loop through. I need to loop through default constants and then through constants, because default constants would have more. Duh. So that was my problem. Let's go ahead and flip these. And that should work. I guess we're going to change this to J's. And we're going to add I to that instead. Okay. So that should work a little bit better now. Makes sense. I was doing that in reverse. And once we confirm that that's working, then we can make sure that our input values are being properly validated. Well, now our input values would be... Well, no, they should have a default value that gets added. So let's see if that happens correctly or not. Oh, yes. So I guess a quick update on some of the performance stuff that I was cleaning up this week while I clean my glasses. I did find out that Unity calls to get paths will generate garbage, which makes sense because they have to look through your computer to find stuff. So things like application.data path, which just returns pretty much, if it's in the editor, it returns a path to the assets folder, which is basically this project view here. And if it's in the player, it returns a path to the build. But you can actually cache those values because those things can't move after you start playing the game, obviously. And that will actually save you a couple of hundreds of bytes of garbage every time you try to request that stuff. So, a little bit of some garbage generation tips. Let's go to extras, author mode, create, Zork, game settings, constants. There we go, that worked. Oh, so close. That's so awkward. Okay. type anything to quit. Quitting. Okay, yep. Looks like everything's correct. Although, why can't I scroll here? That's really weird. Do you just have like no sense? Wait. Oh, right. I forgot about that. It's because when you're hovering over these, it takes priority. Um, so that's not great. Let's go back. Oh wait. Actually, well, no. We'll keep this for now. So type actions here and type anything to quit. We'll see if those actually show up. Let's go to test game. So type actions here. Let's type quit. Yes. Type anything to quit. Cool. That works. Let's hit blah. Cool. Let's go back here to game settings. Change our values there. We're going to say type input here. We'll say type anything to leave. Okay. Let's go back. Test game. Type input here. Good. Let's hit quit. Yep. Type anything to leave. All right. Cool. So that works. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay. Let's stop. Looks like validation works now. We are also going to want... You know what? Now that I'm doing it this way, I don't even need this, do I? I can just straight up add... Oh, geez, that's going to be weird. Okay. I don't like modifying a loop while I'm inside of it. So it's a little awkward, but we're going to do this. Add constant is equal to false. I'm going to take this, put this down here. Add constant is equal to false. We're going to move this out. Well, no, we're going to keep that actually. We're going to move this down to add not missing indexes. We're just going to say constants dot add default constants of I, and then we're going to say add constant is equal to true, and then we'll say if add constant. Okay, so a little awkward, but that way we don't have to generate an entire list into memory every time we do validate. We can actually just get a little bool on the heap and then remove it when we're done with it. So that will be interesting because I'm going to need to change our custom. Dang it, I was like 2 seconds too slow. So I need to go modify our custom file real quick, because that will be much easier than me trying to delete that stuff in game or making a new one. So let's go over to NextQuest custom. Let's open this up. Cool. Variables, interactions. Here we are. So I'm going to get rid of those. Let's hit save. I'll let that go, and here we are. So those two fields should now be gone, which means that it's going to have to regenerate them, and we can proof test this to make sure that it actually does generate them properly. Start. Let's go to extras, author mode, create. Game settings, constants. All right, it worked. Cool, 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 cool. Yeah, we gotta do something about that. We also need to do something about this. Probably these fields should wrap a little bit. It's not ideal, but it'll work. All right, let's go ahead and go back here. I want to test. I want to say quit. Yes. Okay, good. Making sure that we got the space missing here. Well, the space removed. And blah, blah, blah. Okay. So we have an in-game message being output now. Now we need to pay attention to the custom settings that you can set. So if we go to game settings, we have in-game. If we add output for something like score, say select here, then if this is in our settings, we need to we need to output score. For other things, though, we have custom. Can I still add custom? Yeah, okay. Make sure you can have multiple customs. We'll go to turns, select. So I have all of these things. So their order is important, as is their content. Custom is the only thing that I don't think we can actually get functional right now, because that requires custom logic, which, as last Saturday showed, I am not quite ready to do yet. But we also need to keep track of these, because these aren't being saved out. If we go to look at our file here, let's see, we have constants, turn limits, end rooms, start rooms. Yeah, we don't actually have anything saving this information out, and we need to do so. So let's go ahead and really quick, I'm going to grab that UI. So view container, custom game, settings, root. I believe this is our end game, which I guess I can test. Yep, I have the root. Open this up, which we should already have open. Yep. Okay, so we're just going to stop playing, go back to here, and we need to save this. Or rather, we need to, well, keep track of them. So it's a little awkward, because they have information that they have to convey. And actually, do I really not have? Hold on. Let's look for end. End room. Is that really it? Okay, I thought I did have this, but I guess I don't. So let's go back here. Clean up elements, generate elements, and on add output selected, selection made. Right, so we're not actually storing this information anywhere right now, and we need to do so, which means that we actually need to come up here to custom game session, and we have, wow, this is really going to be a lot. Let's go to definition here. This should, I believe, it does not. Okay, never mind. I thought this had a 2JSON, but I guess that makes sense that it wouldn't. Yeah, it's not great. Okay, let me think. Wait, what? Unity generates garbage just to find a folder? Well, so Unity doesn't generate garbage just to find a folder. The problem is that Unity will generate garbage anytime you need it to... Searching isn't the correct term. Anytime it has to generate strings, it doesn't cache those strings, so it just regenerates them. And because of that, anytime you do something like get or application.getDataPath or application.dataPath, which returns a specific path, even though that path does not change, Unity doesn't cache it, so it regenerates that string every time you access it. Therefore, some garbage is generated. So to get around that, you just have to cache it. It's not ideal, and I can kind of understand why they do that. I really wish they put more effort into caching stuff, because you get this. It's basically the same thing you get when you try to access a root.transform, where .transform is a component on an object, and that transform really doesn't change ever. But whenever you call .transform, the base .transform, it generates some garbage, because there's a bunch of safety stuff that goes on for Unity to check to make sure that those things still exist. And I just wish that they would cache that stuff so that we wouldn't have to worry about it so much. But on the bright side, it's making me learn about garbage generation and all that. But it sounded like Unity had some great developers. Well, to be fair, they're wizards over there. They're really good. But part of it is, I think, a lot of the garbage decisions, and by garbage I mean the literal garbage collection, not like the terrible decisions, were made in the early days of Unity. And they've been trying to rectify that, and a lot of their stuff has gotten better. But there's just a couple of decisions that I think were made early on in the engine's development, and they just stuck with them. They just never went back to fix them, really. Or who knows? There could be some unknown reason to me why they don't cache those things. And in some respects, I can understand why it would make more sense to kind of like throw caching onto the developer side as opposed to the engine side, because the engine is just meant to do stuff, and if you know that the engine is going to be doing stuff in a way that's inefficient, then you can just cache that information. But the engine might have to do things inefficiently because it might need to be used in a variety of situations. So it's a weird situation to be in, but I can kind of understand why they would do it like that. But then there are other decisions that they made that honestly I don't understand at all why they did them. But that's yeah. Anyway, so let's go over to custom game session. And actually, before we do anything else, let's look for options, settings, CG. I should have. So we have in-game output. Wait, what? What the heck is this? It's okay. Okay then. Why not? Weird. Settings output element. I guess because this got rolled into it. That kind of makes sense. So let's just delete that because we're not using it. What what do we need from here though? I thought I had data for this stuff, but maybe I don't. Let's go up here to nothing because it has to reload the project. So I'm gonna take a drink. I don't have that great of an opinion on Unity's engine design, like the single-threaded editor. Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm talking about though when I say like some decisions were made early on that don't really make sense now. So single-threaded sounds dumb now, but keep in mind that Unity did come out in like 2008-ish, and that was kind of back before multi-threading was common. Now computers, I believe, at that point had the capacity for multi-threading, but it was very rarely used. I mean, keep in mind that the whole multi-thread explosion for applications really didn't happen until what, like 4 years ago-ish. I remember that Adobe had a large amount of criticism for that up until the Creative Cloud suite, is that all of their stuff was single-threaded. It wasn't multi-threaded at all. And it's just symptomatic of, architecture from the 90s, basically, and the early 2000s. I have to say, compared to Unity, Unreal has advantage in most things. Yeah, that's true. And I honestly think that, yeah, when I say that the guys over at Unity are wizards, the guys over at Unreal are just, I don't even know what you call that, elder liches. Like, they're crazy with some of their stuff. But to be fair, they seem to have well, they're operating on slightly different things. Unreal uses C++, which gives it some benefits that C# doesn't get. But because of that, it's far less accessible, I feel, even with something like visual scripting through blueprints. So, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say at this point. And I think I think Unity is doing a really good job catching up to what Unreal offers. But it's a mixed bag. Each has their advantages, really. But yeah, there are definitely some things that Unreal does that are just way easier and better than Unity, like lighting, kind of. Well, not so much now, I guess, but also the fact that Unreal uses deferred lighting and has anti-aliasing, while Unity does not have anti-aliasing with deferred, is kind of annoying. But anyway, so let's go ahead and close this. Hop back here. And actually, no, I want to go to custom game session. We're going to go all the way. Actually, I'll probably get rid of you. I don't think we need you. Boop. Okay. Actually, paranoia. I'm going to keep that in there for now. I am going to scroll all the way up here. And we need to look for, let's see, logic behaviors, default constants, custom constants. So I need to look for in-game outputs. But I don't know if I want that to be a list or I guess it would have to be a list, right? Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back here. So ironically, the script I deleted might be the thing that I actually am going to create now, which is CG underscore in game output. Oh crap. It was still compiling? Really? Come on. Well, now we gotta wait. I hate it when it recompiles while I'm typing in a name of a script because I always get nervous that it's gonna jumble the name. So we have CG endgame output. Okay. And this is going to be the script that is a data class for our actual endgame outputs. Let's go ahead, let that go. Okay. Get rid of you. Say system.serializable, although I guess it doesn't really have to be. And it's going to be part of the text quest namespace, of course. Okay, now for this, we're going to have public CG in game. Crap, what did I call it? Dang it, I don't know what it is. Game menu. Here we are. Settings output type. Definition. Yep. That is, yeah. So settings output type. I'll say custom. And here's where it gets kind of awkward. I can't really do too much to it here, but I'm going to need some amount of information for custom logic. So I'm just going to say custom logic, not logics, as a to-do there, but we're not quite ready to put that in there yet, so I can't really do anything with it. So get rid of this stuff. That's all good. Then we are going to go up to custom game session. We're going to have a... I could probably just make this protected because it's not like we really need this stuff to be public. So we're going to say protected list CG endgame output. We'll just say endgame outputs is equal to new list. Okay. So we're going to need to keep track of these. This is kind of going to be awkward because this list is actually going to be, I guess, dynamic. And other things are going to need to access it, so I could make it public. I guess that does make more sense now that I think about it. Because the endgame menu is what's going to be changing this value, so let's go ahead and just make that public. Public. Alright. So we have a place to store that now, but we need to actually do a couple of things still. Let's come down here. We're going to say public. Crap. Screwed this up already. We're going to say using sleepyowl.common. Okay. So we're going to say public void from JSON. JSON object, JSON. Okay. Then also public JSON object to JSON. If I could spell JSON. Okay. I'll say JSON object. JSON is equal to new JSON object. Then we'll return JSON. Ta-da. All right. So from this, we are going to need to do a couple of things. We're going to need a public constructor. So I'm going to say public CG underscore endgame output JSON object JSON is equal to null. What is up with the spacing here? Why do you have a giant tab in front of you? All right, and then all we're going to do here is say if JSON does not equal null. Then we'll say from JSON. Make this JSON serializable. Okay. So let's see. I now understand why people use libraries for window creation when using OpenGL. It's some annoying context setup. Yeah, well, I mean, like they say, no point to reinvent the wheel when it's already been pretty much polished to a mere shine. That is not what they say. In fact, that's a butchering of... That's like a mixed metaphor and a butchered analogy. Whatever. Point was, yeah, sometimes there is a reason that people use libraries. Alright, so we need to go ahead and... For now, I'm just going to make this a private constant. Const string key underscore type is equal to this. Okay, and we'll just say type. Okay, we're going to say, let's see, so to JSON, we'll say JSON.add key underscore type, followed by type.to, if I could spell toString, which apparently I can't type at all today. From JSON, it's pretty much going to do the same, but in reverse. So we'll say type is equal to JSON.getStringValue, and you know what? I wonder. Key type. Okay. Oh, and then dot to enum, followed by CG settings output type. Okay. I actually kind of wonder if I've been doing this in a stupid way. Now that I think about it, a lot of my toEnum stuff that I've been doing, I've been casting to strings, which will generate some garbage, but there's no real reason why I couldn't just use the int values. That would actually save me space. That would make my files smaller, and it would make them generate less garbage. Ooh, well, that's totally something to look into. I'm gonna go ahead and go to definition here, and I'm gonna add a little to do here. To do allow int-based conversion, not just string-based. Okay, so that's fun. That's gonna actually be a pretty fun task because it shouldn't be that bad. Ooh, yay! Performance increases. Well, it doesn't mean when the wheel is invented you can't reinvent it, like NASA in real life. No, that's true, and I mean, I'm certainly one of the types of people that prefers to write things from scratch when possible, unless the task is way too complicated for me or is like a one-off negligible thing. For the most part, I much prefer writing my own custom solutions to things, even if they already exist as a library somewhere. Okay, so let's go ahead, go back to game output. Okay, so all that stuff is in there. And we are, before we save it out in custom game session, I guess we'll want to set that up here. Okay. Now, here's where things do kind of get a little awkward. I guess we'll also want, okay. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and just say public CG endgame output followed by a CG settings output type. Say this dot type is equal to type. Okay, so a little bit of a cop out, but eventually we'll need this to pass in settings from this chunk of code. Generate element type list. Okay, all that fun stuff. I kind of wonder if it, well, no. I kind of wonder if it does behoove us to actually cache these things and not generate a new list every time I open that UI. But, let's see, clean up elements, generate elements. We don't really care about you. Well, no, we do. So for generate elements, we're going to need to say for int I equals 0, I is less than, am I caching it? Please let me be caching it. Please let me be caching it. Please. Yes! Cached session. Less than cached session dot in-game outputs dot count. There we go. I plus plus. I can't type. There. In code, nothing is too complicated. You just need time to understand it. No, that's very true. But when I say too complicated, it's meant to be interpreted as like I need something done right now. And I don't have the time to learn it, or negligible is interpreted as I need to do something right now, but I don't really want to code that thing right now, and there's an existing library that does what I need, so I'll just grab that real quick. I very rarely do that, but occasionally it happens during things like game jams and whatnot. I'll just quickly grab things because it's much faster than trying to make sure that everything works on your own. All right, so we're going to loop through our current in-game outputs, and we need to generate new ones. So we're going to say Let's see here. I think it's pretty much going to just be like this. Prefab sub length is available types of type. Yes. That's a little awkward, but okay. So we're going to go ahead and grab this, all of this, and yeah, we got to redo that. So it's probably actually easiest if we break that code out and we say private void add element. And let's go ahead and come up here. We're going to copy that, and we're going to say CG settings output type. CG underscore settings output type. So that, and then we are simply going to say here add element cached session endgame outputs of I dot type. Okay, and that should properly set everything up. Let's go ahead and get rid of this, and that means we can come down here and change this code. I'm just going to comment it out for now. We're just going to say add element of available types of I. I'm sorry, of index. I'm sorry, of type. Okay. Pretty simple, but that let us break our code out a little bit more, which is nice. Let's let that compile. Will that do everything? That won't actually do everything that we need. So when you add an element and when you delete an element, which as of right now, do I not have a delete? I do. Okay, there we go. Let's go. Okay. So we are going to want to. Oh, geez, that complicates things. Crud. Let me think. So if I have support for custom outputs at the end there, like custom logic, that means I can't just use type as an identifier. I have to use instanced IDs, which does not work out very well. Okay. Let me think. What can I do there? They don't have IDs because they don't really need them for the most part, except for this one little thing. Okay. I guess it has an index, and that's good enough. So for this, we will say, well, first we'll say hi cat because the cat's up on the keyboard and she wants attention. But second, we're going to say cached session dot endgame outputs dot remove at index. I think that will work. Then we're going to go up here, and when we add one, we're going to do pretty much the opposite, and we will say cached session dot endgame outputs dot add new endgame output of type. Okay. I don't really like that I'm directly manipulating these things, but it's fine for now. So we generate. So that pretty much is everything that we need from this menu for now. So now we need to actually make sure that we save this stuff out. So let's scroll all the way down. And this is from JSON. Nope, that's to JSON. All right, so we have values, variables, settings. Starting room, turn limit, constant. Here we are. So we'll probably want to do this here. And we'll say settings JSON dot add No, that's not going to work, is it? So we're going to say settings dash in-game outputs. Cat, look, you can't get up here when I'm working. Okay. So for this, we need to make a new JSON array. In-game outputs JSON is equal to new JSON array. Then we're going to say for int I equals 0, I is less than in-game outputs dot count I plus plus. Then we'll say in-game outputs JSON dot add in-game outputs of I dot to JSON. Okay, and then we'll end here with settings JSON dot add custom content utility dot say key settings constants for now, and we'll change that in a second. And then I'm just going to say in-game outputs JSON. Okay, let's go over here, peak definition. Go ahead and grab this. We're going to say settings in-game outputs and outputs. Oops. Okay. Key. Wow, that was not what I wanted. End game outputs. There we go. So then we're going to have to loop through that in reverse up here. So settings, here we are. Say JSON array in-game outputs array is equal to settings JSON. Wow, settings JSON dot get array. Say custom content utility dot key underscore in-game outputs followed by a new JSON array if that is not there. Okay, and then we will say, no, yeah, that was terrible. I don't know what I was doing there. Just treated it like a weird for loop, even though it wasn't even a loop. So we're going to say for int I equals 0, I is less than in-game outputs array dot length I plus plus. We're just going to say in-game outputs dot add new in-game output in-game outputs array dot get object at index I. Okay. Before we do anything else, that should handle saving and loading it, but I do need to clear it whenever I quit. Otherwise, it's just going to constantly get added. Let's see, load background images. There should be a cleanup. Clean up somewhere around here. Yeah, here we are. Clean up custom game. Crap. I lied. Well, no. Hold on. Something has gone wrong. Well, I guess I can actually kind of just take the easy way out here, which is just going to be here whenever we load it. We'll say in-game outputs.clear. That'll take care of it. All right, so we'll let that compile, and now what should happen is, seriously, can't win. There we go. The stupid end game or the end of line differences are really annoying inside of Unity. I don't know why it keeps thinking that I have Unix line endings, even though I've converted all of my line endings to be Windows. But it's very annoying that it happens. All right, let's go and collapse that stuff. We'll let that compile. All right. So, let's go ahead and give this a test. So now when we add or remove those elements, they should get saved. They won't show up in the in-game screen yet, but they should get saved. Let's go ahead and click through here. Start. Extras, author mode, create, Zork. Okay, no errors. Let's go over here to game settings, in-game. Okay, we got nothing. Makes sense. Nothing was saved. Let's add one for turns. Hit select. That'll be it. Let's go back here. And let's... Nothing got saved there, which is kind of bad. Let's quit out here. All right. Nice. So that does work. So let's stop playing. It functions. We are going to need to come back over here to in-game menu and how do I want to handle this? Custom game session. Well, no. Let's add a function here to custom game author session that will let us add and remove these things at will, because we only need to add or remove endgame stuff in the author session, never in the base session, which means that we can add save calls whenever we do that to this. So let's go. Let's see, delete interaction type, sort interactions. God, this class is getting pretty big. Sort interactions by type. Okay, so we're going to come down here. I'm going to say public void add endgame output. Wow, that was terrible. Output versus public void remove endgame output int index. Okay, we're going to go back over to here. Okay. So we're going to change this to say cached session dot add in game output. It's going to pass in this. Okay. Let's go back here to author session real quick. We'll make this a CG in game output. And we're just going to say outputs.add output save custom game. Remove endgame output will be pretty much the same thing, so we'll say endgame outputs dot remove at index. There we go. Then save custom game, which should just call making sure. Yep, that. Okay. Save there. Let's go back to here, and I want to scroll down here, and instead of saying cached game, do all that stuff, we're going to say dot remove in-game output at index. All right, let that compile, and everything should work. Oh, man. Compile times, man. Kill ya. Alright, done compiling. Let that play. All right, let's come over here to endgame. Moment of truth. Although we're getting a lag spike here, which is never a good thing. That means that do I have a while loop? Did I do something really, really stupid there? Please tell me. Please tell me I didn't. Oh my god! Oh god, I do have a while loop. Oops! Actually, it's not a while loop. It's a Stack Overflow problem. Yeah. Yeah, oh crap, that's not great. Not great. Okay. Um, yeah. So we're kind of stuck here. Oh dear. This is not good. I messed up. I messed up bad. Okay, I'm gonna have to task manager that. Yeah, that's not great. I'm actually terrified to know what this is gonna be. Yep, that's about right. That's about right. Okay. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get rid of a lot of this. Yep. Let's just keep going here. Get rid of all of this extra stuff that we don't need. Yeah, that was stupid of me. That was really, really dumb. Um, okay. There we go. Jeez. That was really, really, really stupid of me. Um, okay. So to fix that, we need to change how that behavior is going to work. So add element is supposed to add. Seriously, are you compiling? So what should happen here is that when you add an element, it's gonna add that output to the list of existing outputs. The problem was that I was calling that add after, or I was calling that add while trying to populate the initial list, which meant that it was just going to keep adding itself. So I probably should have a bool here that will say like add, or well, track or something like that. Jeez. We got to wait for Visual Studio to finish recompiling everything. Oh, right, it crashed. So, well, not crashed. I force quit it. So it's going to open my profiler window. I was wondering. My left screen was flashing white for a second there. Um, okay, so we're back here. But we're going to change this. So add element is now. Seriously? Would you just stop loading and unloading all of my DLLs, please? That would be nice. It'd be nice if I didn't have to wait for this. This is the dark side of assembly definition files, by the way. Is you can see that it has to unload then reload all of the assemblies, and that gets really, really annoying. First time it's not so bad because it's just Visual Studio booting up for the most part, but seriously, every time it happens like this, it's really, really annoying. It takes forever. All right, let's go. Can I do anything? Is Unity still compiling? Unity's still compiling. It's a vicious cycle. Like since Unity is compiling, so is freaking Visual Studio. And I can't edit anything while that's happening, so it's very annoying. Well, at the very least, we have a very good view of our add element function, and we know what to do with it. We just can't actually do anything with it right now. One day. One day. Oh my goodness. Stop it. There. Jeez. Ridiculous. All right. Are you done compiling yet? Are you seriously not done compiling yet? How much more do you have? I wish I could tell, but I don't really have a good frame of reference here. Well, okay then. Let's... Oh, dang it, and it collapsed all of my folders because of course it did. Oy. Ah, will you just finish this? Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Oh my god. How many more do you have? Why do I not get a number? I can't even close it. There. Finally. Jeez. Okay. Bool. Let's see. Track element. Cool. And it also didn't recompile everything. That's great. Okay. we're going to say false here. And down here, we're going to say true. Okay. So now we can come back up here, and we're going to say if track element. We're going to do that. Okay. Let's let that compile. Now we should be able to test it, and it shouldn't be a loop that gets us stuck. And it should be able to load in all of that information as well. So we should load in and see that we already have an output for turns. Is that right? Turns? Yep, turns. And once that's working, so once we can confirm that deleting it also fixes that, we should actually be able to set up our in-game screen to look at that stuff and do specific things with them. Okay. So, gotta stretch. Let's go ahead and hit start here. Maximize on play. No real reason for it not to be. Let's go to extras, author mode, create, Zork. All right. Let's go over here to endgame. Nice! Turn count. Great. So that's working. Next, we are going to want to come back here. Let's go yes. Okay, so it didn't add a new one. It's good. Let's delete this. Come back here. Nice! It removed it. Cool. Let's go back. We're going to say add output. We'll say turns. Select. We will add another output. Let's go for time. Well, no. Well, dang it. Okay. So, think. We'll do score. Select. Okay. So now I have two things. Come back here. Let that reload. Good. So we actually, before we can actually output those things, we need to have a value for them to return. So let's go ahead and stop. We're going to go over to custom game session. And we're going to go all the way up here. So are we already keeping track of these things? No, we are not. So we do want to keep track of certain key values. Like these are values that should always exist. That's going to be things like number of turns, time that's passed. So that's time that starts when you start playing the game, time that ends when you stop. Score is a weird one because it's just going to be 0 until you actually decide to increment it somehow. Words and sentences, those are basically the same thing that TextQuest does, so just for every word that you type in and every sentence that you type in, those numbers go up by the appropriate number. And custom is, whatever it needs to be, although it doesn't do anything right now. So let's go back here. So we need to go to not custom game parser commands. I don't think we need that anymore. Custom game session, and we need to track these values. So they're probably going to be, yeah, all right. I guess it makes sense for them to be here, just in the root. I was thinking maybe I should try to roll them into these areas, but no, I think it makes more sense for me to keep track of them as standalone values. So we're gonna put these up as like, what do I want to call these, like core values. It's terrible, but sure. So this is going to be protected. First will be int turn count is equal to 0. Protected int score is equal to 0. Should I make that a float? Yeah, float. Float score is equal to 0f. Protected int, not int, float time. I can't, we'll say current time is equal to 0f. Protected, actually these will go above this. Protected int word count is equal to 0. Protected int sentence count is equal to 0. Okay. That is, those are the core values. You can see here we have turns, time, score, words, and sentences. We need a way of retrieving them. Not a way of setting them, though, because that should only ever be possible through, well, no. Yeah, this is going to be fun. Okay, so we're going to need to reset all of these first up. So let's go to Start Custom Game. Oh, man, that got complicated real quick. Current time is the wrench in that system. Current time should not restart. So let's say that you start playing a custom game, and then you quit 5 minutes in, but then you come back at like a day later to play it. It shouldn't restart you at 0. You should start at 5 minutes. Crap. All right, heading out, Joe Mega. Well, thanks for stopping by. Hopefully, I was good background noise to work with. Either way, thanks for stopping by, man. Have a good night. So, we are going to want to reset those values. For now, I'm just gonna do a hard reset. We'll figure out how we want to store and load time later. So let's go ahead and say turn count is equal to 0. Word count is also equal to 0. We're going to have to do the same thing for word and sentence count, actually, now that I think about it. Sentence count is equal to 0, so these things will have to be stored and kept track of. Current time is equal to 0f, and current score, wait, what? Did I just call it score? Okay, is equal to 0f. That's fine. Okay, let's see here. For turn count, quit custom game, clean up custom game, initialize, move in direction, output text, receive input. Okay. So for this, crap. Dang it. Think. I don't have a good way of retrieving sentence count, do I? Oh goodness, no. Now that I think about it, actually, this might. That's not great. Okay. Well, for now, I can say turn count plus plus at the very least. Score, I'm not going to increment because I don't have anything that really increments that base-wise. And that should work. Okay. Let's just test this as is for now and not worry about it too much. I'm more interested in getting the outputs to be visible than the actual accuracy of their numbers for now. So the next thing we need to do will be, let's see, I have confirm quit input, find all references. I'm not using that right now, so I'm going to get rid of that. Okay. Room names, blah, blah, blah. That's not super great. We have a giant, when are we using that? Okay. Not the worst, I guess. Okay. So currently what we need to do is we need to just, when we end our game, we need to loop through our in-game outputs and do specific things with them. So for now, I think that should be up here. Yep, here we are. So we're gonna move this extra white space, come down here. We're gonna say for int I equals 0, I is less than end game outputs dot count y plus plus. All right, and then we're going to say we need to do stuff depending on that. So I guess we would do a switch statement. It's not really great. But I guess it's fine for now. Switch in-game outputs of I dot type case type of we'll say turns. We'll break out, and this will be probably cached input view dot add text, and this is where things are gonna get fun. Custom constants dot get constant. That's nothing for now. Dot value. So, geez, not great, not great, not great, not great. Think. We probably want them to be on the same line. So, okay, I think I know what we want to do here. So we're going to say dot value plus turn count. And oh, do I want to account for a space or not? Oh, but it gets so complicated if I don't. Yeah, I have to do that, don't I? So I need to do this. It's not ideal, but I'll have that in there for now. Okay, so we're gonna go back here. I need to add some stuff. End game. All right. So this is going to be turn count. That's not exactly great, but it works. We'll list that as 25. Score count is equal to 26. Score count. Score count. We also need word count is equal to 27, followed by sentence count is equal to 28. That's pretty much all I can do for now. So we will go over here. All right. Turns time. Oh, time count. Because I forgot that. So let's actually bump these things real quick. Paste that. So 26, 27, 28, and then time count, I guess. That's a terrible name. Equal to 29. All right. We'll say time played. That's a better fit, I think. Okay. Now, with that, we're going to want, let's see, custom game session again. All right. We are going to basically take this. Oh, need to change that. So it's going to be turn count, not value. Cool. Grab this. Words, sentences, score, time. Words, sentences, score, and time. Okay. So this is a time played, score count, sentence count, word count. Okay. So this will be plus word count, plus sentence count, plus score, plus time. Sorry, current time. Current time actually needs formatting, doesn't it? Every time I format something, I have to have options. Great. So, frack. We're just gonna show it as seconds for now. uh, or no. Yeah, all right. We'll pre-format it, so it's going to be formatted as hours, minutes, and seconds. So we're going to say string time output is equal to nothing. And for that, it's probably going to be a string builder. Okay, hold on. System.text.string builder. Time output, can't type, output is equal to new, string builder, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I don't need the system.text. Okay. And we're going to take this and say plus toString. Okay, get rid of that. All right, so for this is going to be fun. We are going to need to say oh, no, that wouldn't work. Now, would it? Wait. Super easy way to keep track of this. Well, kind of. And I don't need an update function, which would help. So let's do a couple of things. We'll come back to this in a second. We're actually going to come up here to our variables, and current time is going to have some extra things. We're going to say protected float start time is equal to 0f. Protected float end time is equal to 0f. Okay. We're not going to do current time anymore because that's not actually a thing that we need. Instead, we come down here, we're going to set all that to be that, and then we're going to say start time is equal to date time extensions dot seconds since epoch. End time is going to be equal to 0f for now. Then on quit, right here, we'll say end time is equal to date time extensions dot seconds since epoch. So that's the amount of seconds since 1979, which is the 79, I believe that's right, which is defined as the start year for Unix time. So all we're going to do here is simply say float current time type time. That's amazing. I meant to type time and I typed an entirely separate word because their keys are not actually that far apart. Anyway, is equal to end time minus start time. Okay, and then we are going to need to do some division, actually some modulo stuff. So we'll say float. Well, no. So this is the amount of seconds. So we'll say float seconds is equal to current time modulo 60. Is that right? Can I only do? Okay, I wasn't sure if I could do float operations with that. That should give me the seconds, the amount of seconds that I have left over. Then we'll need float minutes is equal to current time. No, hold on. I got this backwards, don't I? Modulo. So that'd be 60 f times. Well, so that'd be 360. Because that would wait. No, that's yes, that's minutes. So that's 60 times 60. 6 times 6 is 36. Add, oh, crap. That's not right. That's that. What on earth am I doing? Yeah, no, that should give me my minutes. Okay, so that'll give me my minutes. And then on top of that, we're going to say minus seconds. Let's modulo that. And then finally, our float hours is equal to current time minus current time modulo. So it'd be 60 times 60 times 60. And I'm too lazy to calculate that in my head, so let's see, 60 times 60, so 21, is that really right? So that'd be 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, so yeah, that's right. So this, 216, is that really how many hours, or seconds there are in an hour? That's pretty small, actually. Well, pretty big. That can't be right. That cannot be right. I have to be wrong. I did that backwards. Dang it, I was like way over rows. This is 360. Oh, but no, everything has to be multiplied. That's right. So that is correct, I think. No. No, it's not. So this is actually supposed to be 3,600F. This should be just 60F, and this should just be, well, no. That is correct. Because we want to, what am I doing here? I don't think I actually want, whatever. This is good enough for now. So all we're going to do is just say if hours is greater than 0, 0f. My math is terrible here. I know that those values are wrong, but we'll keep them for now because all I care about is getting these actually formatted. So if that's the case, then we'll say time output dot append, and for now it's just going to be, like h for hours. Time output dot append. Hours. Okay. And if minutes is greater than 0f, then we'll say minutes, I'm sorry, not minutes, time output dot append, oh, and actually here I'm also going to need to say time output dot append and then a space. We are going to append m colon, I'm just going to copy this, paste that, and this is going to be minutes. And then finally, time output dot append. This is going to be seconds, followed by time output dot append seconds. Okay, so that should be correct, I believe. Let's go ahead and let that go. So I think we're good. Time played, score, turn count. All right. Although, crud. I actually need to change this real quick. Hold on. Turn count. So I don't actually want to increment turn count here. I want to only increment it here. Because otherwise it'll increment whenever you type quit, which is not fair. So it should only increment when you actually type something that is not a quit or resume command. Okay, so that should work. Let's go ahead and quit that. Are you serious, Unity? hate it when it recompiles and it sticks. Ah! Okay. And I think once we get this, well, we'll see if this works first. So let's let Unity compile. Okay, it's done. Good. Real quick, I'm going to go up here. Where are you? I know you're around here. There we are. Fix this. Hit yes. I'm not going to save it yet because that would force a recompile. So for now, I'm just going to leave it. We're going to give this a test. All right. So what should happen now is it should keep track of turn count and score kind of. Score's not actually doing anything right now. And time. So let's try to add that and see if we can get that from our custom game outputs. So we'll go to author mode, create, Zork. We go over to game settings and game. So we have turn count and score. Let's go ahead and add a time output here. Okay. So now when we get to the in-game screen, we should have three things show up in addition to the in-game message. We should have turn count, score, total time, and then they're the correct outputs, basically. Although, I did forget to add those things, so this will be interesting. Did we script this in a way that is good and will actually let us work, or am I going to be sad because I have to stop and recompile some stuff? Where did I put it? Here we are. So get constant, and it returns null. Crap. Okay. Oh, we have to stop. Sadness. Because I forgot to add these constants to the original default constants. So as soon as we went to try and, as soon as we would go to try and retrieve those strings for the output messages, we would just get a null reference and it would fail out, which is disappointing. Also, you know what I just remembered now that I have, now that I've spent 2 hours coding this, is I should have my coding thing on. All right, well, while we're waiting, we can save this. Let's go back to Unity. Gotta wait the eternity that it takes for it to quit playing. I knew I would forget to do that. I should have. I don't even know what I should have done. All right, so that's gonna compile. Now we can go up here. Let's go to custom game author session. We're gonna look at default behaviors down here. I'm sorry, default constants. Of course, I say that, except I can't actually, do anything right now. So, come on, Unity. I know you can do it. There we go. All right, so let's add some values. So we have turn count, word count, sentence count, score count, and time played. All right. So turn count is going to say turns colon. Word count is going to say words typed colon. Sentence count is sentences entered. Okay. Time played followed by score. I'm also going to put a space. Well, no, let's not do a space there. I'm going to do a space next to score just so that I can see if that space will be trimmed. I don't remember if I'm trimming these things or not. All right. Let's give this a shot. Ah, dang it. Of course, I put that on the wrong thing. Oh, no, I didn't. I lied. Okay. Phew. I thought for a second that I put that on the custom one, which would have done nothing. Okay. So we're actually good here. Let's go ahead and play. False alarm. False alarm. I prematurely panicked. All right. Let's click through here. Start. Let's go over to option. Oh, not options. What am I doing? Extras, author mode, create, Zork. Okay. Game settings. Let's go to constants. Here. Turn count. Sentence count. Yeah, I was worried that would also be too long. Ah, it sucks then. What am I going to do with that? Time played, score. Okay, so it doesn't get trimmed, so I can actually do some stuff with that. At any rate, let's go. Oh, actually, let's make sure that our end game is set up still. Let's move score to the top. Turn count, total time. That's good. Let's go back. Okay. Oh, crap. You know what I just realized? I moved score to the top. We don't track that stuff when we move it, so we need to do that. Not a huge issue right now, but that's something we do need to pay attention to. Let's go to test game. We're going to say quit. Yes. Boom! Yes! Except actually no. Because that really should say turn 0, but I guess turns 1 is kind of okay there. Okay, so we're getting turns, score, and time played. 0 seconds, which is understandable because my math was wrong there. Wait, how is it wrong? Shouldn't that have... No. Whatever. Point is that it was incorrect. This is correct, though, that it only calculated seconds at the very least. But probably only because it was wrong. Okay, so we can do spaces, which is good. Let's go ahead and save that out. Turns. Good, we can. Okay. We're going to go ahead and stop playing. Or actually, let's... Hold on. Type anything to quit. Is that what my output was for that? I don't know if that was. Okay, it was. Wait, but input prompt... Oh, right. Because we deleted them so that we could test that. Okay. So those are good. Let's go ahead and go back. Let's stop playing. We're going to come back over here, and we're going to finish up by just getting our in-game options to shuffle everything around whenever we move things. So let's go to... Let's delete this because we don't need this anymore. Boop. Okay. Element moved up. This is where things get fun. So, oh dear. We're probably going to want to have a custom game author session that says public void reposition end game output int index int target index. Okay, I think that's what we're going to want to do. And that just means that we're going to want to say CG end game output target is equal to end game outputs dot, oh, sorry, not at index. Okay, and then we'll say end game outputs dot remove target. Game outputs dot insert at target index, and then pass in game outputs. I'm sorry, in game out. Wow, terrible. Okay, let's go back to in-game menu, and we are going to want to say cached session dot position and game element, and we're going to say index followed by index -1, I believe. Yes, that is correct. Okay, then we're going to copy that. Do the same thing here. Index +1, I believe. And that should work. So let's try that. So now whenever we move in-game output up or down, it should reshuffle its position and cause a save. Oh, crap. Speaking of, I need to save that. save custom name. Okay. So we'll let that compile, and after that, assuming that it works, I think we'll call that a night. Made some pretty decent progress today. We have the end game screen actually showing, so you don't just get booted straight out to the main menu whenever you quit. I guess we'll also want to test that to make sure that it happens whenever you reach the end of the game, not just quit out. Because it should. And of course, you gotta remember to pay attention to the cat, otherwise your cat will meow at you. All right. So, 90% sure that this will work the way I expect it to. 90%. Let's go to Start, Extras, Author Mode, Create, Zork. All right. Next, we're going to go to. Do I really need to do anything with game settings? I think we're fine here. All right. So currently, if we look at this, our. Oh no, that's correct. Okay. So it's turn, score, and time. Let's go ahead, and we're going to move score up to the top. Let's go check that out. Boom! Okay. Let's move time above turns, and then we'll... Actually, no, let's move turns below time. So we're going to say down, make sure that moving down works too. Boom! So it's score, time, and turns. Okay, so that's good. Let's move turns up to the top. Okay. Ooh. Wait, what happened? Oh, it's because I did that wrong. I just kept clicking in the same spot. There we go. Let's try that again. Turn, score, and time. Good. Let's move it back down. Score, time, and turns. Nice. Let's go ahead and quit. Test. Let's go south. This is the message that is shown at the end of your game. Score, time played, 0, turns, 0. That's interesting. Turns should have been 1 there, but turns was actually not. Okay, so let's quit. Huh. So quit itself does count apparently as a input, which I guess makes sense, but it probably shouldn't. Okay, let's... I think that's a good place to stop for the night. So, yeah, we got in-game screens working, which was the main thing. And we're in a pretty good position with that. I mean, it's a big cluster of text right now, but that kind of makes sense because we have a couple of things, and not everyone's going to show everything whenever they finish a game. So let's go ahead and go out here, go to our settings, constants. Let's go ahead and show that. Actually, hold on. All right, I think that's a pretty good place to stop for the day. Another screenshot here. All right, so as always, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.